Here I am, not between two ferns, but under one fake fern. And here's what I want to look at. This is an article from Evie Magazine, which I've given them a hard time for a couple of things that they've written, but I am a supporter generally, and I think 95% of what they put out is worthwhile. I'm not commenting on the sort of things that I have no interest in, like their fashion articles or whatever. But I'm glad that they're out there, and I think they provide a good resource. This article of theirs is interesting. Interesting both in what it has to say and what it has to propose as a remedy of this seeming problem. So, as you can see from the title, according to, a survey that's been put out there, half of single men avoid interacting with women out of fear of being seen as, quote, creepy. Now, we've read the surveys, you're probably familiar with them, about how the number of sexlessness amongst young men has increased ever since the rise of social media, that almost perfectly concurrently with the rise of social media, there's been a upswing in the number of sexless young men. And there's all kinds of reasons for that, which I won't go into here. We've talked about it before. Instead, let's take a look at this article, what this article has to say. Okay. So, men are anxious about approaching women since they don't want to be seen as creepy or weird. So what should men do to avoid making women feel uncomfortable? Well, I jokingly said they've got two things they can do. They can not be ugly and be attractive, and that way they won't be creepy anymore. They won't be viewed as creepy anymore. Alright, so anyway, let's scroll down. Dating is incredibly difficult these days, and I mean this for both men and women. Yes, this is sort of an olive branch. Evie has put out a couple of articles that were sort of man-bashing in their own way. Even though this is an anti-feminist journal, they were sort of saying, come on, men, step it up in this way or that way. But here, this article looks like it's meant to be extending an olive branch. So dating is incredibly difficult these days for both men and women. There are many individuals who don't even meet their potential partner in person anymore. In fact, over 300 million people worldwide use a dating app to meet someone. Nah, that's bad. That's bad. Dating apps they need to go in the trash compactor, the virtual trash compactor. You need to get off of dating apps forever, unless you want to just use it to mess with people. Then that's fine. But otherwise, if you're really there because you're looking for someone, looking for a life partner, then anyway. Yet how can we blame anyone for downloading Hinge or Bumble when no one ever wants to interact with strangers anymore? And even though I'm a woman, I can definitely admit how difficult dating is for men. Women want to be approached. Depending on who you are, they do. But if they don't like you, some of them will automatically think you're creepy if you try. Yes, see my previous comment. Don't be ugly and be attractive, and you won't be creepy. Of course, there are definitely ways you can come off as being creepy. Catcalling, overtly sexual comments, and coming on too strong, I think what they're looking for there. That should be coming on too strong are all examples of poor behavior that tend to scare women away. Okay, I mean, it's, we hear a lot about catcalling and how terrible that is. I really don't think catcalling would be a problem, though, if a really attractive man is doing the catcalling. Overtly sexual comments, yeah, I mean, that's definitely off definitely shouldn't be. I don't encourage that kind of behavior, nor do I encourage catcalling, but I definitely suspect that some catcallers can get away with their catcalling because they have an appeal, because they're bad boys, or whatever. Or they have some kind of something attractive about them, whether it be looks or status or something else, something that women have an inclination to desire in men. But what happens when women have expressed their disgust for men so much that other guys have become scared to respectfully approach someone they're interested in? Okay, the thing is, their respectful approach. Let's face it, their respectful approach. Yes, there are ways to respectfully approach someone that aren't lame and silly and don't make you look like a dork, but but there are a lot of ways that do just make you look like a dork, and you'll still be thought of as creepy if you come up and say, "Excuse me, I just wanted to very respectfully introduce myself, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable in any way, but I wanted to just say hello, and that I would like to perhaps take you out sometime if you would be amenable to that." Sorry, no, I have a boyfriend, even if she doesn't. That's how that conversation is likely to go. So anyway, this being respectful thing, it's not really. Not that I'm saying don't be respectful, but I'm just saying approaching with respect is guys have become scared to respectfully approach someone they're interested in. Yeah, that's because that's how it goes. Even when you are respectful, you're still creepy. Okay, so now this may be where the article probably goes off the rails, I'm guessing. Let's see what they tell us. How not to come off as creepy. One psychologist named Mark Travers, but all right, we don't care about these names. But what does that mean? What behaviors are considered off-putting, and how do you know what's typically okay and what's not when it comes to dating? For a while now, creepiness has become unclear to many men, giving them a looming sense of social anxiety that keeps them from conversating. That's not a word. Conversing with women. Conversating is not a word. Okay, so many clients have reached out to her expressing their fear of approaching women due to be seen as creepy. So how do you get around that? How do you manage not to be creepy? Well, you can just not approach. You can just be the furniture that they see you as when you're not appealing to them. Just continue to be that furniture, or just immediately thrust yourself into their friend zone, and then you won't be creepy either. So Travers was determined to find answers. His findings were incredibly eye-opening. About 82% of women said they experienced creepy behaviors from men. That just means 82% of women, and I'm sure that some. I know I'm being a little glib here. I'm sure that some of these women have actually been approached in a way that is legitimately creepy, like somebody saying, "Hey, gorgeous, you know what I want to do to you, sweetheart." I'm exaggerating a little, but I'm sure there are some guys who are legit creepy. But I think, for the most part, by and large, if you approach them while not being attractive, you're creepy. I'm going to stick to that. All right. 44% of men say that their fear of being seen as creepy has reduced their likelihood of interacting with women, and that number increases to 53% in single men. Wait a minute. So some married men are out there scamming on gals. That's not good. Or maybe they're just like talking about just talking to them in any setting. Hopefully. Lastly, there are the 9 behaviors that men should avoid to not come off as creepy. Okay, so these are staring. Avoid staring. Staring is not good. If you just stare at someone and, there's drool coming out of your mouth, that's not good. You don't want to do that. Unwanted contact on social media. Well, how do you know what's unwanted? How do you know, probably any contact is unwanted if you're not attractive. 3, inappropriate comments. Okay? Again, kind of vague. Controlling behaviors. No, bitch, you're gonna do what I say. Yeah, avoid that. Avoid that. Won't accept no. But aren't you supposed to be confident? Don't women say you should be confident? But you're supposed to just be like, no, I don't think so. Okay, sorry to bother you. I'll go away now. Yeah. All right. So again, I think a confident guy who won't accept no will not be seen as creepy. That's just my opinion there. Unwanted physical contact. Okay, don't go up and grab their boobs. You don't want to do that. Pressure for sex. Hey, we just met, but I really want it right now. Clinginess. Oh man, I just don't want to spend a minute without you. We've got to be around each other all the time. And physical stalking. That's another thing to avoid. Do not stalk them. Do not stalk. Okay. But again, I bet that if you followed someone around and you were a charming, attractive man, that even that wouldn't be seen as creepy. It would be like, ooh, what's that? Who's that cute guy? Why is he keeps showing up everywhere I am. This is kind of exciting. Oh boy. Okay. Both men and women should be conscious of how they approach each other. Lots of men might see women as a whole as toxic or cruel, and that's simply not true. This kind of generalization actually hurts both groups. Sure, some women can be unnecessarily harsh towards men. Some of them are eager to assume guys are being creepy even if they're being genuinely nice. Narcissism is rising in America, and people are becoming less empathic. Yeah, for sure. Leading to a larger population of meaner women and men. Still, that doesn't mean there's a shortage of women who want to be pursued. There's no shortage. There is no shortage of women who want to be pursued, but they want to be pursued by the right guys. They want to be pursued by guys that they like, by guys that they find appealing. And how do you become appealing to a woman? You don't become appealing to a woman. You are appealing, or you aren't. And that's that. However, men still need to understand why some women see guys as creepy. Alright. And then there's all this stuff about we've had to remain vigilant of our surroundings, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I know, I get that. I even though I've been glib and in my commentary here, I understand if you are a woman walking around in public and it's dark, let's say, and there's not many people around, and some strange guy suddenly appears. I get why that's a situation that is uniquely anxiety producing to women, or maybe not uniquely anxiety producing, because men could be afraid in a situation like that as well, but I think men would be more afraid of getting mugged and women would be afraid of getting raped, although male rape happens too, let's not forget. Anyway, I'm going to skip past most of this. Now let's talk about meeting people online. No, let's not really. Social media has enabled men and women to meet online without having to fear rejection in person. With this being said, men must approach women by being more gentle, not being inappropriate, pushy, or persistent. So it ends with this sort of saying, this kind of lecturing tone towards men, which is interesting because I would have. This is a women's magazine. I would have thought that the intended audience would be women, and maybe saying to women, "Hey, you know what? You can like whoever you want to like, and it's that's all up to you. But maybe don't be quite so harsh with some guy who is not intending you harm, and who the only problem you have with him is that he's not appealing to you." I mean, that's how I would have wrapped up this article. But instead, they end it by lecturing men. As for making a good dating profile, make sure you're selecting a good photo of yourself and a specific bio that shows your niche interests. Okay, so again, advice for men. And, like others have said, men shouldn't go to women for advice on how to get with women, because that's like asking a fish how it's best to catch a fish. You don't want to talk to a fish. You want to talk to a fisherman. So even though it's a little bit even different there, because of course some fishermen are, anyone can learn to be a good fisherman, but not everyone is appealing. And so a lot of what I've said here, I know, sounds kind of black-pilled and all that, and I want to add, before I end this video, I'd like to add that I am not black-pilled. I am a believer in Stoicism. I think you should not spend your life just grousing and groaning and moaning and being in misery if you can't find a girlfriend. You should get on with your life. Do your thing. Do what makes you happy. Do what you feel you've been called here to do. Use your talents. Okay. Use them and become successful in whatever way you define success. And maybe that will help you out with women. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But you shouldn't be doing it for the purpose of making yourself more attractive to women. You should be doing it because it is the best thing for you. So that's why this is not a black-pilled video. Just wanted to add that little clarification as an addendum. Thank you for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. Talk to y'all soon.